All right, message to Rogue. This machine, I think, would probably do much better if you guys put more information out about the equipment. As of right now, my review and garage gym reviews probably gonna be the only two that are up that are from regular people. You know, Rogue put out 2 little small 1-minute clips, and I think that's not enough due to the fact that it's a very expensive item and we still don't know enough about it. You know, and some people are saying that this is just another fad. You know, you had the different things come and go in fitness and whatever's trendy, and if you're gonna do that, $1,700 to $2,000 is a very high price to pay for something that may not be around long. So I would say 100% put out more videos, show all that you can attach to it. And when I go through the overview of the machine, there's some different holes and places that look like you may be able to add on to later. And I'm hoping that, I heard that you may be able to put a lat pull down system on this some kind of way. So once again, the versatility of the machine is good, but you guys haven't shown all its capabilities yet. So I think if you did that, more people would take that plunge into the market and purchase one of these. All right, spacing. Like I said before, I'm in a garage gym. Basically my garage is 20 by 20, right? But actual workspace, I have like 17 by 16, right? So I can't have too much of my garage taken up by one piece of equipment. The footprint on this is 61 deep, 52 or 51 wide. It's very tight. Everything is close in. Whereas the Titan machine, I believe, was almost 7 feet wide, and it wasn't as deep, or it might have been the same, but that extra bit would have taken up so much space that it probably wouldn't have worked for me in the application that I had. So I'm actually glad I didn't purchase that machine when I first tried to, and it was sold out. But this one, everything is really tight. Able to work around my little space to where I can get in and rack the weights and change them in and out without too much difficulty. But it is going to take a large bit of space up. They also say that it should be bolted down. I don't know why. Even if you're doing off-platform stuff, the thing weighs 550 pounds by itself. If you're adding weight to it, I just don't see a situation where it will move. I'm not going to bolt it down just due to the fact that it doesn't make sense. But they have bolted down all over the machine. But if you're doing this, if you're going to get this, just know that you need to make sure that you have weights that are probably specifically for this. Just for reviews and doing the videos, I'm going to use my KG plates, but it does make it hard getting in and out and toting them from my competition rack, over here and all that. But for the look, and also I like to train how I compete, so that's why I'm using it. But if you guys are just using this for regular home purposes, get you some 45s and stuff that are going to be dedicated just for the machine. It'll help with spacing and also make it easier transitioning from one to another. All right, setup. Setup is really, really easy. All you do is find the height that you need that's going to work best for your depth and how low you choose to go. Like I said, I'm tall, I'm 6'1". I use the last of the clamps on the strap. So there are basically 3 options, right? There are 3 options on the belt loop. So with me being taller, I use the number 1. But if I wanted the depth to change, all I would have to do is go to number 2 or even 1. So a smaller person would use a 1. And then the actual trolley or the J-cup situation, you can actually change the height by just removing the removing the pin and lowering it, so that way it can catch when you pull the lever back. So I thought they did actually a really good job with that, because it's pretty good. You just have to make sure that I don't know how, if you're doing off-platform work, you're going to probably need a partner to release the weight. And also pros. I believe there are so many pros to this particular machine, and for me, the number one pro is going to be its versatility. It's the fact that I could do so many other things with it, that I feel as though it won't just be something that I do or stop doing just because. You know, there are other things that I've purchased that were kind of versatile, but I never used. I mentioned that I bought the road sled with all these different attachments. I spent like almost $1,000 for the sled, and I've used it 3 times. Partly because it's hard to maneuver it. I mean, it's heavy. I couldn't bring it to the gym with me. Using it outside on concrete didn't really work as well. So basically, it's collected dust. I've already used this thing more than I had any other machine that I've ever purchased, but that kind of had a niche type thing. So the versatility is so key for it. Also, the craftsmanship on it is A1. Everything on here, it felt like everything was justified. So it's like when you have a piece of equipment that you spend a lot of money for, you don't want to feel cheated. They did almost everything right with it in terms of how it flows, the way it feels. It feels smooth. There's nothing rigid. Didn't have to oil anything. Everything has been working fine from day one. So, and the other thing I'll say price is a pro as well, because if you look at the other machines that are in this line in terms of quality, you're going to pay $3,000 to $5,000 for it. The Mac Winning machine, I believe, is almost $4,000 or $5,000. You have the Pit Sharp, which is probably close to $4,000 or $5,000. And this machine has been excellent. Now, I hadn't used those other machines, but just looking at the videos and things of that nature, I just can't see or justify paying the difference when this machine works so well for me. That I would say that there aren't many cons, but that's pretty much all of the pros. All right, the cons. The cons for me will probably be very specific to me. I would say one was that mine came scuffed up on delivery, as well as by the flywheel at the bottom where the cord comes, there's like a plate that traps that ball in. And mine is not drilled out, so I couldn't put the screws in to bolt it down. But the plate that it sits on, or the floor, the diamond plating, it actually holds it down, so it hasn't moved. But that's something that's a huge concern, because that's the platform that it's built on. So even if they decide to send me another one out, I'm gonna have to take this apart in order to replace it, and that's kind of a pain. As well as, I would say that there's how could I put it? I wish it would have come with the spotter arms for that amount of money. Those spotter arms are going to cost roughly $300, and I think that that should have been something that should have come along with it. Just in terms of when you look at pricing, in terms of like the materials used, it costs what a monster rack would cost, or around that, and I think they could have given you that. As well as you can see, the beams or whatever, they're short. I believe they should have made them at least as tall as the top pulley. And if they would have done that, you could have hooked J-cups up to it, and you could have used it to squat out of as well. So it could have been a squat stand as well as a safety belt squat machine. So I guess they didn't want to knock their own market, but that would have been something that would have given this machine great versatility as well. Another thing I would say is that the floor on this particular one, it's not great. It's very short. It's very small. It's about 2 feet wide. I mean, 2 feet in distance, front to back, and I say it's three and a half feet wide. A bigger platform would allow to do lunges on it, on a platform. You could do better jump squats, or you could run on it. You could just do more to it. And the way that it's built, it may be something that you can add on to later. Maybe even add an extra foot onto the flooring based on how it's set up now. So I'm curious if that's going to be something that they allow you to upgrade at a later time. I would say instead of giving ratchets or wrenches, they should give you bolts, like a bolt to actually wrench these down with, because using the wrench was actually really hard. It took me 4 hours to put this thing together, and that is probably another con. It was that the instructions were very poor. I spent almost an hour trying to get these dowels in, or the metal little beams at the bottom that goes into where the handles go, and I couldn't get it in. And I was like, damn, why is this not going in? And I spent an hour. I started hammering it, trying to get it to go in. And as I looked, I saw that there was a little screw that you had to unscrew, and once I did that, I was able to back it out and just slide it in. So that would have saved me almost an hour out of my day if that would have been illustrated a little bit better in the instructions, or they could have had a video. Like a video of someone putting this together would save so much time, so someone can go step by step and skip having to reset and do the whole thing over again. So I think having better instructions and having better tools to put this thing together that comes with it would have been a lot easier and a lot better for the people who had purchased it. It would have saved me time that putting this together I could have been working out on it. And other than that, that's the only. Alright, so this is the area that I was talking about where the holes weren't drilled out properly, and as you can see, I wasn't able to bolt them in. And even this one here, it's not even in. I don't know what happened, but it would not allow me to bolt it in. So hopefully they're gonna send me out a new one. I'll probably give them a call tomorrow. But like I said, the platform is okay. Could have been a little bit deeper, and the reason why I say that is because of the way they designed the legs. They could have actually brought out the diamond plate all the way to the foot, and if that would have done that, that would have given roughly that extra foot and a quarter. That could have, could have been more platform. But overall, this thing is pretty sturdy. The screws weren't that hard to put in. They were actually pretty cooperative, and like I said, you know, they did the beams on here, which I guess are the monster style beams. What was actually cool about it is the fact that you can actually add different attachments to this, and like I said, they didn't, to get this to focus, they actually have laser cutouts, which is actually pretty cool, because they could have cut corners on that and they didn't. But if you look right here, look how huge the bolts are. Like, that is monstrous. Like, that is like an inch, and it's pretty crazy. So imagine putting this thing together. That was pretty hectic doing that. They use a lot of quality, so like the little J cup that actually holds the weight in. So pretty much you just pull back on the handle, and when you pull back on the handle, it releases, and when you finish, you push up and it catches the weight, which is pretty cool. And like I said, in the back they have the band peg set up to where you can actually hook the pegs up. I didn't really understand how to use it, but you basically slide the band from the back and then put it around the horn, and then there you have it. Now, I also heard Coop from Garage Gym talk about this, which is actually pretty hilarious. You spent all this money on this, you did laser cutouts, and then you put this bullshit sticker right here, which is kind of funny. But overall, everything else is pretty cool. But oh, and this is right here, This is also actually a pretty cool touch that they did. They put a magnet on here, so when you put the pin in, you know, you excuse me, so you slide it in, and then when you go to lock it in, you basically, excuse me, I'm trying to, all right, so you have like a little pin, you slide it through, and when you slide it through, watch this. It snaps in, so there's no chance of it actually coming off. It's like a magnet on the other side, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. All right, in conclusion, I would say that this is out of 10, it gets a 9.8 overall in terms of, you know, what you get for your money, how it was delivered, the ease of use, quality, seams, things of that nature. It was, I mean, almost A1. The only reason why I would say it wouldn't get a 10 is due to the fact that mine, you know, the holes weren't drilled out on mine. And that's like kind of frustrating that the one I get is the one that's messed up. But for most people, this is probably going to be a 10 out of a 10 piece of machine. I think that people who have been complaining about the price tag, I think once they get it in hand or actually use it, they'll feel the price is justified. So I think pricing is pretty good. I think the quality is great. I think that if you're someone who's in my shoes, a little bit older, who can't have those same amount of sessions or reps on their bodies, this is going to help prolong your career. I think that it's going to allow for someone like myself to maybe get into the 800-pound squat club, due to the fact that I've been able to improve upon my squat by doing 10 reps a session 3 times a week. So now I'm going to be able to push that squat a lot more often due to the fact that I have a machine now that's going to allow me to get those high reps and high weight in, and hopefully it transitions into a huge total at the Arnold. So I'm 100% happy that I got this. I don't see a situation where I will not feel like that later unless something absolutely breaks or snaps, but so far so good. This thing has been absolutely amazing. So I would say if you're in the market for a belt squat machine, this is the one to probably get. Like I said, I hadn't used the winning belt squat machine, but it looks very similar to the Titan version with just a different lever. And you know, I don't see the purpose of spending $3,500 for a machine that most people aren't going to be able to max out and understand the quality or the differences. So you know, for some people, that cheaper piece of equipment may just be better for them price-wise, but the machine itself doesn't flow well yet, so you may have to just wait until they make their improvements. But until then, this thing here is ready to go. I was able to use it once it got put together. I figured it out pretty much, and now it's just about improving upon my squat. So that's the conclusion. It gets a 9.8 from me. I'll do an overall walk around of the machine, and that'll be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any comments or questions, just put them in the comments, and I'll try to get to as many questions as possible. All right, later. All right, so that's pretty much it for me. That's the Rogue Monster Rhino. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful anyway. I hope you got anything out of it, but just know that this thing is going to be able to satisfy 99.9% everyone's needs on planet Earth. So if you have the extra money, I will go ahead and make this purchase. All right, later.